Well, I just accidentally leaned on the button and I did it stopped the video. So here I am making part 2. So I'll have to put this up as part 1 and part 2. Oh well. So, because I didn't know you could stop it with a button on the side, and it just clicked the button enough as I was trying to grasp it. As you can see, we have cherry tomatoes coming in on all these plants. Oh, there's a nice rack of them right down there. Can we see them? Yes, we can. So there'll be cherry tomatoes. I don't know if they're going to be any earlier than normal, but they certainly are forming up the tomatoes. And I think these are the beefsteakers that are coming in. They're my favorites. Sometimes I'm tempted to just have nothing but cherries and beefsteakers and forget about the ones in the middle. And if it gives me a little lag in tomatoes, I'll be even more glad to be eating them when they come later in. A few more of the squash plants. I have managed to clear out this area here, not completely yet. It's tough on my back. I've kept this garden fairly free of weeds. If you go back to last year and look what it looked like, you are going to see huge differences. And I'm thinking about, if I don't plant something in here, just extending some more of the paper all around, like strips and stuff all around that area to push back the weeds so I don't have to weed them anymore. Because this stuff is working like a charm, as you can see. No weeds, no problemo. So that's kind of what she's looking like. The Wall of Glory, Morning Glories. Starting out, I think it's going to be in full bloom here in just maybe a couple of weeks. Look at this one. This is where more of the seeds drop than anywhere else, so this is going to definitely grow out. But if you look down here, lots more down there, and they're outside everywhere. I'm going to let every one of them grow up onto the wall and drop seeds, so it'll be good every year. Where else? Well, that's mostly it. So even some up here, I'm letting it spread wherever it wants to spread, as long as it doesn't keep me from shutting the door on this place. I guess that pretty much covers it. Judy has been very active with her herbs and stuff. She tried this year using my old pots. I said she could. So she's got lots of them out here, and flowers as well. She planted. I'll go along the landscape there. I'll just take a quick walk around. There's the compost pile that I can't use for much except for non-food items. I can use it. As you can see, lots more dyeing going on here. When I spray and dyes, I'm trying to kill enormous amounts of the Oriental Bittersweet. Kudzu has nothing on Oriental Bittersweet. There's another one right up there. You can't really see it the way I can. It's waving around in the sun here, but there's just tons of it everywhere. There's one out there. I keep coming back out and spraying it more. It gets a little bit discolored. Hopefully I'll get enough into it that it will die to the root by next year and won't come back, just like all the ones that were on the edge here. And I'm going to take some of my irises, like these here, but ones that I have out in the garden, and I don't really need them out there, and I'm going to be planting them on the side of this hill. This has come out pretty good. I didn't have enough mulch to go all the way down here. Don't know if I ever will, but you know, it'll probably work its way. So I've got a mixture of red and brown, but I think we're going with brown from now on. Judy's planted some of her stuff through it and didn't put down. I have a bag of fill-in mulch, and she doesn't fill in, so I'm going to probably have to fill in around these things. That's what I got it for, and I'll get more if I need it. Obviously, we have little diggers known as chipmunks. They're everywhere. We have a next door neighbor cat. His name is Amadeus, and he's right out there all the time looking for chipmunks. So the chipmunk population suddenly just fled from here, which was a good thing. This is where all the bittersweet was last year, and it's more or less devoid of it. So now we're going to put in irises, I think, and let that grow in back here. Don't know what that ground cover is down there. Maybe one of my experts who watches this will know what this is. I'll get a closer up for it so you can really look at it, if you have any idea what that is. but it's covering quite nicely. It's too bad it just wasn't all the way up here. And then there's our sideways leaning tree here, which has leaned worse and worse every day. And Judy's trying to prop it up a little bit with bricks and stuff, but it would get to the point where I couldn't walk under it or ride my mower under it. I'll come out here a distance, you'll see what I mean. And see, that's what it looks like. It's reaching for the sun because it's got a lot of competition. Look at the tree line. It's all around here. Starved for sunlight. Funny thing is, this one over here on the other side of it here isn't doing that. It's stretching and it's trying to get sun, but it's not doing the sideways thing. I don't know why this one did that, but it did. Japanese pussy willow. Over here, I think this is called Mirabilis, or the Japanese wonder plant, or the 4 o'clock plant, because it blooms around 4 o'clock. This one is yellow. I got 5 of these back a bunch of years ago. They were expensive. It was more than $1 a bulb, maybe $2 or $3 a bulb. They just had a woot deal where instead of paying that much a bulb, I got 10 bulbs and it was $13. What a deal. I can't complain with that. So I ordered them. They're coming my way, so I'm gonna have let's see, 10, 11 bulbs counting this one. I don't know if I'll put them all in this year, but next year we'll be putting them all over the place. I do love them. That's just one bulb there, and I may be putting them in a lot of different places. We shall see, but it was a good price. So quickly around to the front here, you can see what's happened with the Johnny jump ups. Are still hanging around, not as many of them though. Irises have gone by, rhododendrons gone by, peonies have gone by. The tickweed is going by. It's not as pretty as it was, but it's still nice. These are just starting to come up, and I forget what this is called, but it'll be all purple, kind of like, it'll look like this up and down. They're very pretty. That's not kind of gotten here yet. Judy has planted some of these marigolds. It's kind of an always flowering garden, something or other. Here's some more of Judy's herb garden that she has on what she not so lovingly called the Great Wall of China. She thought it was ugly. This is the hosta plant that is constantly taking over here. It'll get way out into this walkway here, see? So I have to chop parts out of it. Last year I chopped a bunch of big parts out of it. It didn't care, it just replaced them all already. And I could put them out back, but the deer eat the heck out of them. I mean, I don't know if you even saw them when I was going by. There's a little tiny part of a hosta, and that's all they'll get to out there. So that's the peonies gone by. That's the, I don't know, I think there's more irises. These have not come in yet. These are here. They've actually slightly gone by. They weren't as pretty this year. They are a pretty plant. And more of Judy's stuff. I let her use my barrels. This grass, I've got to cut this down. It's getting big, 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 too big. Ornamental grass. And this lamb's ear. This is the hosta. Those are the pieces that I cut out last year. It's turned into a whole plant all of its own. I'm just letting it grow. And there is the dead hydrangea, which is one of my next projects, is to pull all the crushed stones off to the side, dig around it, and see if I can get this thing gone. And so that's a lot of what's going on out here. There is another area, but I'll get to that when we actually get to dealing with it, which is way out here. We have a new neighbor, and he's put in a fence. It's a beautiful fence, and he's taking care of the property, which the other guy didn't do so much. But out here by the fence, Judy has been just a house of fire, cleaning up down this path at the end of our driveway, which I named the mini path of destruction. It goes down there to the end, and that's where she feeds turkeys and everything else. And this used to all be grown in, and we just pulled it all out, and you see the neighbor's new fence there. It's a nice fence. He's going to be maintaining everything. And Judy wants to get this all cleared out and plant some nice stuff in there. I don't know if a hydrangea will grow in there, but that would be a good place to have it. So the mini path of destruction here was named after the major path of destruction, which doesn't exist anymore, but they made it when they came to install the sewer line at the place way back when. And they dug up all the way down the property line and way out into the woods. They cut down all the trees and everything with brush hogs and all this other stuff, and pretty much, you know, just got rid of everything. Path of destruction. That's what I called it, the path of destruction. There is no path of destruction anymore. It's all grown in. They planned it that way. There's no real trees. Well, there's some trees, but they're nothing like they used to be. But, you know, you don't notice it. It looks just like it did before, like it's forest, and it's nice. So it did grow in. And that's way out past the edge of the garden, out where you see a tree there, and then out into what now is woods. Used to be the path of destruction. But I've always had this mini path of destruction, and I always called it that. So we still call it that today. And on down there, we're trying to clear that out and make something even nicer out of that. Okay, I guess that's it.